talking this LSU basketball team. Nice win for the Tigers on Saturday, Coach. They seem to control that game start to finish.
Well, I thought it was the best game we played all year. I said the Liberty game was the best game, but taking that Liberty experience into Knoxville and playing as well as we did on the road for it, consistently throughout 40 minutes. It wasn't like we had spurts that our team has developed, earlier in the year where we'd have scoring spurts and really, separate the score. We were consistent offensively and defensively throughout a 40-minute game at Tennessee. Now, Tennessee's in a little transition themselves, but to pick up a road win, the first one of the season in Knoxville, great place to start. And I thought our guard play, I thought Skylar Mays and Javonte Smart really controlled the game the whole time.
From a coaching standpoint, how do you practice limiting turnovers? Because this number has steadily fallen down for LSU, and I think their success rate has picked up, and I don't think it's a coincidence. But how do you coach that?
Well, I think it's one of the things that Will has established in practice from day one. Our teams have struggled early in turnovers at times with Will his first 2 years, but last year our turnovers got cut down really about this time of the year a year ago, and then this year consistently after the first 2 or 3 games we've really done well in taking care of the basketball. I think it's something he establishes early on. He puts the balloons up, and if you have more than 10 turnovers in the practice, they pop a balloon every time you have a turnover. And then
Wow.
Anything over that, you're held accountable for turning it over by running at the end of practice or whatever punishment he decides to put on the team. So anytime you tell a team what they're responsible for and then you hold them accountable for doing it, it certainly lends itself to improve, and that's what it's done, and that's his philosophy, and it's really worked well his first 3 years here.
Man, if I had to run for turnovers, I would just become a ball sink. The ball would never leave my hands. I'm like, I ain't going to be responsible for this one. Talking to
that wasn't a profound statement. I mean, am I supposed to say?
Pretty obvious
really?
scouting report there on the big fella.
Yeah. No extra running for me ever. There's a reason why I was never late for one workout in my 5 years with Moffitt. Coach Brady, Javonte Smart. His year, it's out the gate, it seemed like people were a little down on him, but then in that SEC debut last week, leading the team, 21 points, Skylar dropped 17. What have you seen from Javonte Smart here in year number 2?
Well, I think he's improving and playing a position that maybe is not his most comfortable position. In high school, he's a shot searcher. He scored baskets. That was his primary goal. Last year with Waters out there, he was able to run free a little bit, play the point some, but now he's in a different role, and I think that's a difficult position. I'll break it down to you in football terms. You know how important the quarterback is. Look at our quarterback from a year or two ago and how it's changed LSU's landscape. So it's a difficult position to learn and succeed at, and he's getting better at it. And one thing about Javonte Smart that I've noticed, he can take hard coaching, and he can take a challenge from the coach. He never says a word. He responds, and that's why he's going to get better at it. I think now he's feeling more comfortable. I told him after the Liberty game I thought it was the best game he'd played, and then he took it to another level at Tennessee because he was able to make some baskets. But if he involves other people early and makes good decisions and doesn't turn the ball over, and then he can also hit some baskets along the way, it certainly improves the offensive efficiency of this basketball team.
Darius Days has an interesting role on this team, Coach. He's one of the leaders in rebounds, averaging right around 8 a game and averaging 12, and has really become a trusted shooter from behind the arc. How does Days fit into this team? What's his role from your point of view?
Well, I think with this team, you're going to have different guys from time to time make baskets, particularly behind the arc. I think that's a key for us. At Tennessee, we made some timely threes and shot the ball really well from behind the arc, which really allowed us to win that game outside of us playing well defensively for 40 minutes and not throwing the ball away. So I think Darius Days is another unselfish player that lets the game come to him when he can make open shots. And I don't think it bothers him if he has 8 or 10 one night and then maybe 18 or 20 one night. And I think that's what you're going to see with our 4 players that played last year. Emmett's had his nights, Skylar's had his nights, and I'm talking from an offensive standpoint. But I don't think either of these players really care who scores it as long as we scored and the Tigers win the game.
Arkansas on Wednesday night, back-to-back home games for the Tigers. Wednesday night, Arkansas's in town for an 8 o'clock tip. Saturday night, 7 o'clock tip-off versus Mississippi State as the Bulldogs are in Baton Rouge. Real quick, from your point of view, how has Musselman changed this program in Arkansas? What's kind of the scouting report under new leadership?
Well, I think it's a better defensive team. I think they're more defensive-minded than they've been, even though they had 40 minutes of hell. 40 minutes of hell was sometimes tough watching it from a defensive standpoint, in my opinion. And I think Musselman's got a more fundamentally sound defensively. But both of these teams, if you get the cliff notes and just look at them, they're both guard-driven. Their depth is similar. The size is similar. I think it's going to come down to our guard play against their guard play. They average around 70 a game, and their 4 guards score 60 of their 70 points a game.
Wow.
So I think the battle of the guards, our perimeter versus their perimeter, whoever wins that battle, they don't have an inside player that averages more than 6 points a game. They have 1 6'8" player. My trump card is possibly Emmett Williams being a difference in this game because they have nobody like him. I think they'll have a hard time guarding him, and I think on the offensive glass he's going to have a good game.
Coach, the Natty coming to your city, NOLA, Monday night. What kind of hanky-swanky VIP bar can the people find you in Monday night?
Well, Monday night, if you look at the basketball schedule, I know you don't think that way right now.
I do not.
What's going on for LSU football? We fly out Monday to go to College Station. We play them on the road Tuesday.
Brutal.
Oh,
Now Chris Blair will do the game, and he'll fly out Tuesday morning and meet us in College Station. So I'll have me maybe a beverage or two watching LSU win the national championship in football in the cozy little town of College Station.
Wow,
Coach, tell the listeners how cool it is to be the LSU basketball coach when the LSU football team is good. When nobody pays attention to you until after the new year.
Well, what it does, look at it from a positive standpoint. It gets that LSU brand, that LSU name all over the country. Everybody's heard of it. Also, Will's proven he can win and win at a high level. So I think all of those things work together. I'd rather it be that way than the other way, and our football team is not any good at all.
Absolutely. Coach, enjoy the weekend. Have a great call this week, and Happy New Year. Thanks for the time this morning.
Okay, guys. See you.